Shalom, shalom. Call law Yabashimi Al Shai. Yabashimi Al Shai Bashimi Kakadash Prakatham. The honest our apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessed salutation to you, brothers out there teaching and enduring truth, sincerity. I want to say, matter of fact, man, Slaki, I kind of got sidetracked. I wanted to get this precept, okay? Because we're dealing with a lot going on right now. And we're dealing with Israel, and Iran, which we know, if you don't know, that's the scripture where it says, "The least of the flock shall draw them out." So we're getting closer to the end of this thing. There's a lot of chips in a lot of bags that are cards. A lot of cards are getting laid. A lot of moves is getting made. You know what I'm saying? And in that regard, see here. I don't know if I'm spelling it wrong or not. Yeah, yep. And Matthew 24:6, and this is a good point as well, okay? Because when we're talking about, what's going on in Iran, and we see these bombs, and oh snap, you might think this is the end. No, we're nearing the end, okay? And this precept also verifies that as well. It says, Matthew 24:6, and says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all things must come to pass. But the end is not yet." So what is the thing that means to come to pass? That MOTB, aka RFID, as well as famine, concentration camps, the prophecies, okay? As the Lord said, which is why we are so adamant at these other camps not following suit in the Lord's prophecy, man. They prefer to act like nothing's going on, not to prepare for anything, because once you let people know that Yahweh Shai is at the door, then now you got to prepare, because like the scriptures say, matter of fact, we're gonna get it. So in 2 Peter 3:11, it says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, okay? Looking for and hasten unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens begin being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. And that's a question. What manner of persons are ye to be in all holy conversation, which is your conduct, how you should carry yourself? So when you're constantly pushing about salvation, about getting the hell up out of here, about busting a move, you know what I'm saying? And then you're reinforcing it with prophecy and scripture, and things, matching, measuring the times, okay? And it'll create a different energy within your flock, and at the end of the day, the flock, anybody's flock, is the Most High's flock anyway, and the Lord is the one that's dictating all this. So we have no right to try to push a different narrative. Now, there's angles you can touch on, and some people, such as myself, I'm more of a self-improvement type of person. You know what I'm saying? As far as the consistencies of my videos, but I'm not ever going to negate prophecy, because that's the first and foremost thing that we are called to do. Okay. But when you're comparing these, other guys, they act like the Lord ain't coming. You wouldn't know. You'll think you can open up a school, stores and factories, burgers and fringes, man. Okay. But enough of that. Let's get, to the scriptures at hand pertaining to the subject. Okay. So we, outside of all that, we got, Sweden and Finland. I believe Finland joined last year and Sweden joined this year to NATO. Okay. Which is a break in the pack. But I'm reading, and Esau trying to act like what he's doing is not breaking the pact. Like, well, technically, if you look at it, it was a verbal agreement. Come on, man. it's still this. That's his ways. It don't matter. Okay. Psalms 55 and 20, which they should know. You should write things down. Keep things in writing. But Psalms 55 and 20 says, "He that put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords." See? You know what I'm saying? So they'll act like everything's good, everything, we trying to find a solution to this thing. But at the end of the day, you try a man by his actions and you see it's different, then hey, that's a hypocrite. He's a liar, man. Okay? And once you go, let's get to these articles. Well, I got one in Wikipedia. Okay, I went into forgot the search, but the name of the title, the article is "Controversy in Russia Regarding the Legitimacy of Eastward NATO Expansion." So now you see how they word that, regarding the legitimacy. No, y'all agreed to not expand east. Okay, let's cut it. But we're gonna get into the subtopic of historical context. Okay, when you go into that aspect, it says a lot. I'm gonna try to rush through it. It says the proposal not to expand NATO eastward, which was one of the ways Western countries took the initiative on the issue of German reunification and reduction. See how they try to throw that in there? The possibility of, what I mean is they try to say, oh, we were helping these people over here, that, so it should be justified. No, you agreed to something, man. Okay. Um, like Esau, he'll do that. We deal with it every day. You'll do something and expect mercy from him. And he'll be like, sorry, it's the rules. And then when it comes to him, his buddies, he'll bend the rules and act like you got to have moral compass and understanding. So which way is it? Are you a moral person or you're a technical person? Okay. But it says see here. It says Soviet Union's influence on this process was based on the provisions of the speech of German Foreign Minister Hans Dietrich Genscher in Tutzing, announcing on January 31st, 1990. In it, the minister, among other things, called on NATO to unequivocally state, no matter what happens in the Warsaw Pact countries, there will be no expansion of NATO territory to the east that is closer to the border of the Soviet Union. Genscher's speech was prepared by him without coordination with German Chancellor Helmut, to whom who was a political competitor on the eve of the upcoming parliamentary elections, from whom he sought to seize the laurels of the unifier of Germany. At the same time, his proposal aroused interest among the leadership of Western countries, which began to consider the possibility of obtaining the consent of the USSR to the unification of Germany in exchange to limit the expansion of NATO. On February 2nd, the minister outlined his plans to the U.S. Secretary of State, James Baker, on February 6th. The whole point is that the U.S./NATO, which is the beast, which is the image of the beast, or the beast in itself. You know what I'm saying? NATO is the beast in itself. All right. America is the woman that rides on the beast, pursuant to Revelation. Okay, because those ten horns, 7 heads, and those 10 horns all consist of NATO and the EU. Okay, and they agreed, and that's why Russia isn't in the beast, because the whole beast system was made to be a powerhouse to oppose Russia, in essence. Okay, so with that being said, um, with that being said, see here. With that being said, let's get into some other articles that I had laid out. Okay, so I was looking up, and I'm gonna show it in post production as well. I have an article that was published. It was updated March 7th of 2024. Okay, uh, which is last month. Not too far long ago. It says NATO's new map. Sweden officially joins alliance and blow to Russia. Okay. And if you look at the map in post-production, you'll see how they're encamping and pretty much laying a siege around Russia, man. Okay. And guess who else they're trying to deal with? Japan, Taiwan. And that's on the east of Russia. So they're pretty much trying to circle these guys via nuclear missiles or tomahawk, because they might not want to shoot nuclear missiles. They might want to be close enough to shoot them other missiles. You know what I'm saying? But those nuclear missiles, ICBMs are going to go off regardless, because that's prophecy. Okay. But it says why it matters. The Nordic nations' accession to the alliance marks another major blow to Russia's President Vladimir Putin. And Slovakia, another thing, there's a beautiful thing about this map, because it says join after 1991 and join before 1991. Remember, the pact that they made was before 1991, and then or in the 1990s. Okay, so after 1991, you got believe it's what, Germany, you know what I'm saying? But you got Sweden, you got Finland that just joined. Okay, Sweden joined March 7th, 2024, which is this year. And then Finland joined last year, April 4th, 2023. Okay. And what are they doing right now? They're trying to do the same thing with Ukraine. Okay. So this is a war crime. This is an act of war, but it's an indirect act of war, because they're using different propagandas, the annexation of Ukraine and all this and that, and all that, man. So it's more than just, justice for Ukraine and all this. These people are trying to circle Russia, ultimately trying to, the beast system is trying to take over all these countries so they can implement their new world order. Okay, but people like Russia and China are in the way. Okay, and these other countries, Russia and China, believe that they have the ability to become the new superpower. All right, so in all essence, it's really just a jockeying for position. Okay, that's Satan, man, with all these fucking pop-ups and ads, man. That's annoying as hell. Okay, it says why it matters. The Nordic nations' accession to the alliance marks another major blow to Russian President Vladimir Putin, who has claimed that Moscow invaded Ukraine in hopes of blocking the alliance's eastward expansion. Okay, Sweden Prime Minister ULF Christensen handed U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken the final document in Washington, D.C. on Thursday to make the move official. Okay, let me say flashback. Galvanized by Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine. It wasn't unprovoked. It was an annexation going on. Them people agreed to join Russia, and America fell play, because again, they're trying to encamp them. So that goes against it. Because if you look at the map, if they it was that Crimea situation. All right, once Crimea was trying to be annexed and join Russia, because these countries, I believe like Japan and Taiwan, they're going getting into it right now. You got people trying to fight for their culture, and then you got on the other hand, you got another insurrection amongst the same people trying to fight for a social structural stance, pretty much, factories and money and building their economy up. You know what I'm saying? And America is that cup, okay, saying I can make that happen for you. But you're not just gonna sit here and take our money with like they try to do to Africa, try to make them, push that LGBTQ, and all that, and Africa's like, nah, because we're allied, we don't need you, we don't need your money. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with this pandemic. They was paying all kind of companies and countries to force that injection on people. Okay? So and people took of that cup, man. All right, and now people what, dropping dead. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the that cup, that Babylon, is death in that cup, man. And it comes with money first. It comes with provisions, but it's death always associated with Esau, because he's the sword, man. Okay. Um, it says galvanized by Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine, Sweden and Finland applied to join NATO in May 2022 Finland officially joined the alliance last April, which more than doubled NATO's borders with Russia. You see, their membership notably marked the end of each country's long history of non-alignment. What are they saying? Swedes realized something very profound, that if Putin was trying to erase one neighbor from the map, then he might well not stop there. Blinken said after the documentation transfer, which again, uh, let me see. Let me try to find it, man. I hope this don't shut down on me, man. See if I can find it. You know how I'm using Google Slovakia, you know. So yeah. So when you go into, that was in 20, 2014. Okay, in February 2014, Russia invaded the Crimea Peninsula, part of Ukraine, and then annexed it. This took place in the relative power vacuum immediately following the Revolution of Dignity. It marked the beginning of Russo-Ukrainian War. Okay, um, and they're gonna always they're gonna demonize Russia in everything you see. But I remember that, once you go into annexation in international law is the forcible acquisition and assertion of legal title over one state's territory by another state, usually following military occupation of the territory. In current international law, it is generally held to be an illegal act. Annexation is an unilateral act where territory is seized by one state, which is Russia in that situation, as distinct from the complete conquest of another country. Pretty much, you coming there with your army, and because it's like the people wanted to join Russia, but the government didn't. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the split came. So now you can argue and say, well, Crimea didn't want it because the politicians said no. Puppets, I mean politicians. You know what I'm saying? But the people were crying for it. It's the same thing going on in Japan and Taiwan. You got one thing from the people, you got one thing from the politicians. It's the same thing in America. It's one thing from what the people want, and then you got the what the government is saying. Okay? And the people can't speak up. We don't own CNN. We don't own Fox. We don't own this. You know? So we have to be represented technically by the government. And the government has their own agenda. Okay? You know what I'm saying? You going over all these countries, and a lot of these people over here just want lower prices, a better government structure, instead of spending more money on military, and you worry about what's going on in Ukraine, dumping money over there. Okay? Let me see. I want to look that up. How much money did the U.S. send Ukraine? So, largest donors of military aid to Ukraine, America is at the top. UK is underneath, EU's underneath, Poland, Germany, Canada, Netherlands, Italy, Norway, France. I'm telling you, look who all these countries are. Look at who they're associated with. This is not a humanitarian thing. This is a power play. Okay? All right, this is a strategic power play for war. And how much? How much? Because think about this: America never associated with themselves going to war in Ukraine or involving themselves in a war. But when you're financing something, you pretty much, if I buy all the guns for the country, which is what they're doing, you know what I'm saying? Then you just was it cat's pawn? Okay, we're gonna look that up as well. But it says how much did the U.S. send? 46.6 billion. Meanwhile, we have a problem with real estate over here. We got a problem with gas prices. We got a problem with food. We got a problem with bridges. You got a problem with boats. You got a problem with the AB5 with the trucking. You got a problem with the docks in California and the Gulf Coast. You know what I'm saying? You got a problem with the infrastructure. You got a problem with schooling. But you could send $46.6 billion to these people. Okay? We got a problem with American debt. But you could send 46.6 billion. How much did the UK send? 5 billion. How much did the EU send? 3 billion. The EU. Poland 2. Germany 2.5. Poland 2.5. Germany 2.5. Canada 1.5. Netherlands 0.9. Italy 0.7. France 0.7. Norway 0.6. This is not by coincidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. But we're not fooled by the propaganda. Okay? But let's go to Jeremiah 13 and 23. Because Esau used their witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? That's why the scriptures say, go to thy sorceries. Okay? Because the devil knows if he has a short time, and he's trying to hurry up and get his plan locked in. Because ultimately he knows the Lord's gonna come, man. That's why all the UFOs and aliens, now they're trying to put out propaganda with that. But terror shall make him afraid on every side eventually, okay? And it's getting there. And we're seeing it manifest before all of our eyes, okay? It says Jeremiah 13 and 23, can the Ethiopian change his skin or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil, okay? And Esau won't change, okay? Matter of fact, let's get it. Sirach 12 and 10, never trust thine enemy, for like as an iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Like it. Though he humble himself, right? Yes, for peace, and I'm trying to help, and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. You're going to see him straight up for what he is. And thou shalt know that his rust have not all been together wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at the right hand, lest don't take no deals with him, all right, or make no association with him, all right, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. But these other nations they need help because Esau got the Babylon got it on lock, all right, with this financial currency, man. These FRNs, all right. So a lot of countries are kind of forced because they're in poverty or they need help. You know what I'm saying? War, and you know what I'm saying. So they pretty much need a bodyguard. You know what I'm saying, to ensure that they'll be okay while they go through their endeavors. Okay? So the point is that, this is a stone cold point out, in fact, that Esau is breaking his pact and purposely trying to take over the world, man. All right? And he has his strategies, and we're watching it play out. All right? But while Jake worried about what Diddy's doing, Jake, what worried about who's drafting who, you know what I'm saying? And you were caught up in that, and then you try to tell Jake, oh no, man, let's stay positive, bro. Let's not think man, shut the hell up. You're gonna be the first one to go. Okay? You know what I'm saying? That's like the scriptures say, it's like you try to tell a wise sentence to a fool, it's like waking them out of sound slumber. You're gonna say, what is the matter, man? Damn, bro, what's your deal? And that's why we don't care what happened to 2/3 niggas, because it's like you did it to yourself. Who shall pit a snake charmer when he is bitten? All right? Joining unto the enemy amongst many other things. But yeah, that's all I wanted to bring out, man, to point this out. With that being said, I'll say, call Lord Yabashim Yashah, Yabashim Yashah, Bashim Kwakadash Bakathum. Shalom.